Hey everybody, welcome to Round the Twist, episode 348. It's October 28th, 2018. And FYI, I am fighting a headache. I think I managed to take it down from a migraine to just pounding now. It was light sensitive this morning, so here I am. More caffeine, more fluid. What I have on the needles. First thing is the stained glass blanket, take 2. This is the Juggling Hexes pattern by Wendy Harbaugh. It is free pattern you can access over on Ravelry. I'm using Blue Moon Fiber Art socks that rock light and medium weight for all the centers, and Loopy U Solid series for all the edging, and the lovely Katie D, I think, over on Ravelry, got in touch with me, and she had 2 skeins of the Loopy U Solid series in black in her stash, and she was very nice and sent those to me. So I should have enough. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. But 2 more skeins to add to the stash. Yes. But thank you, Katie. Katie D is very much appreciated because that will help me lessen the freak out of I'm not going to have enough to make this blanket as massive as I want it to be. But I'm crocheting away using an F hook, which is a 3.75 millimeter hook. I'm starting to try to square off the trapezoid. So this is one of the corners down here. It used to come like, and I'm slowly building out. So I'm up to 121 centers joined, if my count is right. These 2 at the top, which I don't know what that one is. I think that's Watermelon Tourmaline, which it looks supremely washed out. That's a little better. We have plenty of sunshine today, so it's not nearly as dark down here. And then this lovely one that you can actually see all the colors in because it's so washed out. It's normally about there. There we go. This is Blackbird, but I joined those 2 on, and I'll do another row across, only it will be 3 the next time I pick up a hook. So, hey, 2 more on this week. Lots more to go. It's slowly coming along, but it's big enough to use as a lap throw, which I love. Love, love, love. I can even cover my feet with it. It's awesome. Second thing that I have managed, it's, you know, when you get to a point on a project where you have something, you've just kind of been motoring along because it's nice and mindless, and then you have to actually stop and think and look at a pattern, and you can't focus on your TV show or your podcast or whatever else because you have to focus on the sweater. That's where I'm at with Tara's Muffin Babies sweater. But it's almost done. It's so close. It's not done. I thought maybe I'd get it done this week, but nope. Didn't happen, and that's okay. But all of the shoulder neck shaping. So this is the Hearthstone Sweater by Isolde Teague. It is available over on Ravelry as an individual pattern. It was originally part of a series released by, not a series, a compilation, sure, released by Tin Can Knits called Heart on Your Sleeve that raised money for malaria research. So I'm doing the size 6 to 8 and also knitting it longer and bigger because my children are giants. And I love the little cable detail. I'm going to turn it around so you can see it a little better. See it on the back, on the raglan decreases. It's so much fun. So I got all that done. There was like 6 different charts I had to look at for the last 8 rows, which is the part that I couldn't wrap my head around and watch Hawaii 5-0 at the same time. So I'm to the point, I bound off the front neck edge. I kept going with the shaping, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and now I'm ready to bind off the back. And then pick it all up and knit the ribbing. But again, my brain space wasn't there to bind off and pick up. I probably could have bound off, but it was getting late, so I stopped. So I'm currently using a US 8, which is a 5 millimeter, but that will be switched out for the US 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter for the ribbing. And then I'll just need to Kitchener the underarms that are hanging out here, weave in all the dangly bits, all the ends, and then Tara will have a finished sweater now that it's getting cold-ish. Yesterday it was 77 here. A week ago we had, or 2 weeks ago we had snow. How crazy is that? But yay. Just bind off ribbing, ends woven in and blocked, and it's done. It's like maybe 2 hours of work-ish, depending on my mood. But I just don't have time. I don't have time. Soon. Soon. Next, riding around in my cold sheet bag. I needed a new sock project. The Fallen Leaves socks were gifted to my boss for Boss's Day because she's amazing and she has been prancing around the center with them on, bragging to anyone who cares to listen how wonderful the socks are that I made for her. So and now everyone else is going, where are my socks? I'm like, well, she's special. So the next pair of socks is for my friend Sarah for Christmas. This is yarn that she picked out while she was here. It is Into the World, their Manchester sock, which as you can see is an 80-10-10 superwash merino cashmere nylon blend. I believe I got this at Rhinebeck, so it's probably about, it's at least 6 years old, if that's the case. Because 6 years ago was the last time I went to Rhinebeck. It was right before hubby and I got married. 6 years. That's coming up. It's a couple weeks away. He better get his button gear. I already gave him his anniversary present because he was looking at it and thinking about buying it. So I'm a gaming widow again. Assassin's Creed wins the day. It is Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which takes place in ancient Greece, and you are a exiled Spartan. He hasn't advanced the main story enough to where he gets to the part where he actually becomes an assassin. So right now he's just a mercenary, so a hired sword. But I'm sure at some point the assassins come into it, but right now it's not really there yet. Anyway, sock. So I'm using a US 1 2.25 millimeter needle because the Manchester sock is a thinner, it's a little thicker than the opal that I've done for Sarah before. But so I'm doing a 72 stitch vanilla sock, but I added a little 2-stitch cable that crosses opposite ways on either side of the front of, just off of the sides of the leg onto the front, and so it'll run down the top of the foot as well. Little variant, and I've got them so they crisscross opposite directions so they both twist in toward the middle of the foot, which I think is a cute detail. Colorway is the 11th Hour, which is a Doctor Who reference, and it's spiraling and pooling beautifully. I love it. Look at it spiral. Yay. Heel flap. I think I was like 3 rows into the heel flap last week. I didn't make notes last week, so I'm guessing. I was a little ways in, and I've managed to finish the heel flap. I have turned the heel, and it's ready to be picked up and start working on the gusset. So that's where I'm at on that. This has been my work knitting. It's been riding around and coming out during meetings at work, which we've had a few. So, yay. That's what, I'm just going to fold that rather than wrap it. That was a cruddy fold job. Oh well, it's in the bag, so I won't lose it and be padding around on the desk. Oh yeah, Tara's sweater. Didn't tell you what it was out of. Falling apart. Head is pounding, that's my excuse. Tara's Muffin Baby sweaters out of Sun Valley Fibers. Is their Superwash Blueface Leicester DK weight, and the colorway is called Fire Witch, which is Barbie pink, Miss Piggy pink. That's everything I have on my needles. That's all I've been working on, except for pokey things. So, little Miss Tara, as I have mentioned to you before, requested to be the Princess in Black for Halloween. So, The Princess in Black is a series of children's books by, I believe it's Shannon and Dean Hale. And it's about this perfectly prim and proper princess, Magnolia, who dresses in pink and glass slippers all the time until her monster alarm ring rings and she has to go fight monsters out in the goat pasture and fight them back down, make them go back to Monsterland and not take over her kingdom and eat goats. So, but to do that, she can't be prim and proper Princess Magnolia. She has to change and be the Princess in Black. And no one knows her secret identity. Well, Tara wants to be a princess superhero, so the Princess in Black it is. So Mommy has spent the weekend making a Simplicity Snow White pattern into a Princess in Black costume. This is the little bodice. It's adorable. I had to applique because the Princess in Black's little, you can't see, the neck kind of cuts down there. There we go. This is the Princess in Black's little symbol, is a little 5-petaled white flower. So I had to applique on the front, which is not part of the pattern, so I just kind of winged it. Had to applique the little slashings on the little puff sleeves, which look like poo right now because they've been ironed in other directions, so they're all crinkly, but they're there. Now the bodice is done. The sleeve, mostly I need to finish the neck still. The sleeves are done. Now comes the easy part, which is the skirt, which I shortened considerably because Snow White's skirt goes all the way to the floor and the Princess in Black's only comes to like her knees. And then her cape, and it will be done. And Grandma's going to help me with some of that and help install the zipper. And hopefully by Wednesday for trick-or-treating, my little girl will be able to be the Princess in Black. Gabe has changed his mind again and is not going to be Captain America. He's going to be Spider-Man again this year. So I got off easy that direction. But let's see. We're like 11 minutes in. What do you guys think? Should we do... Let's see what the next any questions thing is, and we'll go from there. Oh, sorry, clicking around. Oh, the coffee today is carrot cake. It's very fall-y. Let's see. Turn a little bit so I can see this. Okay, Amy LS Knits over on Ravelry in the Any Questions thread. So if you have any questions for me, please post it to the sticky thread over on the group on Ravelry that says Any Questions. So Amy asked me about a couple months ago, says, "Hi again, Karen. Thank you for getting me somewhat addicted to Blue Moon Fiber Arts yarn. Was it at Sock Summit that you were introduced to it? If not, how did you hear about it? Also, if Tina said you could pick a colorway just for yourself, what colors would you include minus the ones you like? I remember the episode where you said you loved blues, blast from the past. Also, the reason I remembered the Krabby McKrabby Pants colorway for one of the hexagons is because I was wearing my Krabby McKrabby Pants socks. See, told you I was addicted, Amy." Okay. Blue Moon Fiber Arts actually started before Sock Summit. It might, well, I'm not sure. It might have been the first Sock Summit. It might have been a couple years prior while I was helping out on the Lime and Violet podcast. I know while I was helping out on there, I had made a purchase of like 5 skeins of Socks That Rock, and I knit them all into monkey socks. I love Socks That Rock. I don't know. It's for socks, at least for me, it's the bouncy squishiness. It's so round. The structure of the yarn is very round. So it doesn't feel all nubbly under my feet. To me, other people have had different experiences. I've had them last very well despite the fact that there's no nylon in them, mainly because I knit them at a fairly tight gauge. But I love Tina's color sense and the way she thinks outside the box. She'll put colors together that I'm like, well, I really don't like this color, but I like the other 4, so I'll give it a shot, and then it comes and I love it all. I love it all together. So if Tina said I could pick a colorway just for me, what colors would I include? Well, obviously like a deep sapphire blue. Hello. Like a really rich burgundy fading, like garnet burgundy color, and into an amethyst purple, like a deep rich purple. Like basically every jewel tone you could think of, throw it in, and that's like ultimate for me. But they have to be that deep, rich, saturated, and those colors are so hard to get, but I know Tina could do it. I know she could. That's what I would want. Just me. And I'm still amazed you recognize that Krabby McKrabby Pants, but once you said, I was like, oh yeah, I did that in my big Charlotte's Web shawl. That's right. And so kudos, Amy, and yeah, that's my love. I have a very long love affair with Blue Moon Fiber Arts Socks That Rock. Very long. Okay, one more. From MaryBeth143 over on Ravelry. Says, hi Karen, not sure if this has been asked, but does your Ravelry name have a special meaning? I love it, but I've always wondered where you came up with it. Love the podcast. Happy knitting. Well, Mary Beth, my name over on Ravelry, Alcariel, comes from my geeky side. I was in college when the Lord of the Rings movies came out, and one of my roommates in college was also a huge Lord of the Rings geek, and got both of us a Elvish English dictionary, and we both looked up, you do what you do when you get a dictionary. You look up basically what your name means, or a spelling of your name, what it would mean in that language. And let me think. Alcarinque was a name of a star among the elves, and the meaning of Alcarinque was the glorious. And Beth, which is my middle name, Alcarinque Beth, was the glorious truth, the glorious word, the glorious one. I can't remember. I'd have to go back to the bookshelf and get my Elvish English dictionary to find out. Whatever it was. I shortened it to the base word of Alcar, A-L-C-A-R, and then to make any word feminine in Elvish, you either add E-L, like Galadriel, I-E-L, or E-N, like at the end of Arwen. So, Alcariel, the glorious maiden, the glorious lady, the glorious woman, whatever. So, there's my, wow, that was I'm a geek. That's okay, because it was fun at the time, and it's hard to explain when people ask about it in real life, but I'm able to explain it better like here because I have a little more time. It's not something you can explain in like 10 seconds. Oh yeah, it was a nickname. I suppose I could just say it was a nickname in college, and they'll go, wow, weird nickname. So there's where my Ravelry handle comes from. I think we're going to end it there. If you guys have any questions, like I said, post over on the Any Questions thread. I've got a lot more sewing to do, so I'm going to drink my coffee to try to stave off the headache, drink more water to help with that too, and chain myself to a sewing machine so a little girl has a costume for Halloween. So until next week, everyone, happy knitting.